Shark attack spotted in Dortmund. Thanks to Ferran Torres and his brace, Barcelona earned themselves so far the second place in the league phase of the Champions League with a win against Borussia Dortmund in their own backyard. I did not expect to come in here celebrating Ferran Torres like this. Last week was the very first time that I started to doubt Ferran Torres, but now, hey, a little bit of praise for the man. He earns himself man of the match in my book. And I want to start this video with a question for you guys. What is the role for Ferran Torres at Barcelona? What is Ferran Torres' role? Because I think that if he continues like this and he's just this super sub, this substitute player that we can bring in whenever we need goals, well, I think it will very much suit him. Let me tell you something as well. Lewandowski would have not scored the last goal that Ferran Torres did. Those runs, only he makes those. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, where the Catalan team got the victory with 3-2 from Dortmund in a very tight affair that was, well, a very entertaining match. I gotta say, so far the most entertaining that I've seen in this UCL for Barcelona's campaign, and certainly for Borussia Dortmund, even though they got that 7-0 demolition of Celtic at the start of the competition. Well, let's start off like we always do, with the lineups, because that is the first place to start. That's always the best place to do so. Barcelona lineup with Iñaki Peña, the starting goalkeeper for the season, Jules Koundé, Pau Cubarsí, Íñigo Martínez, and Alex Balde. In the midfield, they went with a double pivot of Marc Casado, Pedri, and behind the striker, which was Robert Lewandowski, we saw none other than Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, and Rafinha. Dortmund, on the other hand, they went on with Kobel, they went with Ryerson, Emre Can, Nikos Lotterbeck, Remy Bensebaini. They went with a midfield of Felix Nmecha, Marcel Sabitzer, Giovanni Reina, and up top with Jamie Pino Giddens, Sergio Guirassy, and Juran Durenville. Let me tell you something. Marc Casado and Pedri so far are by a mile the best midfield partnership that Barcelona can have. They so far have relegated Frankie de Jong, the current captain in terms of hierarchy, that should be leading the squad, into battle because they are so good. And Dani Olmo, a player who I admit did not had a good game the previous game against Real Betis. Well, today he was, well, pretty much one of the best as well. His passing, his progression of the ball was back to where it used to be, which is quality. I think that Dani Olmo, like I always say, I like this phrase, everything he touches becomes better. Every play, every ball that goes through him, every chance, it gets better. It gets more dangerous. It becomes more of a threat under Dani Olmo. And that's what we saw from the Spaniard today, I think. He really controlled the midfield. And at the start of the game, it was clear to see the two tactics from both teams. We had on one side Dortmund, who Nuri Sahin was constantly saying, be compact, keep it close. They wanted to pack that midfield, make it hard for us to build up the play, and Hansi Flick knew that. He realized that. He's had a perfect rec against Borussia Dortmund, and well, he has repeat that in this game as well. He saw the build-up now as a key option with Koundé and with Alex Balde through the two fullback positions, and his idea was to always get the ball to them, build up the play through the wings, have Rafinha and Lamine Yamal very close to the sidelines as well, so that then they can quickly change the direction of the ball and look towards Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo was so free as this classical 10 within the middle of the park. He would just drop in a little bit deep, but then would have the absolute freedom to look at Rafinha, to look at Lamine Yamal, who were starting to get cleared of their man marking because, well, Bensebaini and Ryerson were now constantly trying to scratch back and crawl into pressure for Dani Olmo because he has gotten the quick change around in the team. The build up with Koundé and Balde left him open. So that's how Barcelona really exploited that space. And Lewandowski had a bit of a trouble to keep up, honestly. I think that fast-paced game of tempo, the quick transitions, is a place where he's struggling a bit, perhaps of his age, of course, 100%. 36 years of age, we're not expecting to see Lewandowski act like a gazelle, you know, constantly sprinting up and forwards back the field. But that's where we saw then someone like Ferran Torres in the second half have that sort of impact when the spaces came. And oh my god, the spaces did came. But there's still plenty of things that we have to talk about in this game, but I just wanted to open up with that because I believe that the game was set from the get-go. Very first half, Teams were a little bit of, studying themselves, but it never really changed. This was all about who could have scored the other one, and at the end of the day, Barcelona won. Before moving on, guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really does help a lot. We're trying to reach 30k subscribers by the end of this year, and well, the year is slowly finishing. It's coming to an end, and I hope that that is the case. But of course, it doesn't really matter if we do. At the end of the day, this is a hobby, this is a passion project, and you all really just make it that much better. I really want to keep watching and reading your comments in the description down below, so keep them coming in. And well, now let's take a look at Dortmund quickly before moving to Barcelona, because I want to mention two players out of the get-go. I want to say that two center backs for me, Emre Can and Nico Schlotterbeck, had a tremendous game. They were outrageous today, particularly in the second half. Nico Schlotterbeck really is one to look out for. His physicality, his energy, his intensity that he goes to every duel, and the way that he celebrates after every single recovery of the ball is something that is just really contagious to the entire team. And he would be a player that, honestly, if we didn't have the players that we had at the moment, certainly I would bet my money on to be arriving to one of the biggest clubs in the moment, maybe not so far into a distant future. I really do think he's an incredible player. And Emre Can, with all of the, kind of moving around that he has done, he has really found his place at Borussia Dortmund. He's been already here for more than 5 years, I think. He was at Juventus and Liverpool before, and now he has really earned that captain's armband, I think, for Borussia Dortmund. He really looks very settled. He looks very good. He looks very composed. And there were instances where, for instance, Ferran Torres, Fermin, Lamine Yamal were against him, and even Rafinha in one instance, I think, and he won most of his duels. So that made me believe really that he has earned himself, I think, the recognition that he deserves for a game like this. We take a look quickly, if I can, at the stats from Emre Can, and if I'm not wrong, here you can see, 7 ground duels, 6 of them won, and then 1 aerial duel of 2-1. That is a good return, I think, for someone who isn't naturally a center back, but of course has deputized there before in his career. I remember at Liverpool when he started, he was that center. But anyhow, moving to Barcelona, which is what we kind of are all here. Here is supposed to be the batch, right? But it's here. That's annoying. Let's talk about, for me, first of all, the goal of Rafinha, which is an incredible goal from this guy because he cannot stop scoring. It's now 17 goals for him in so far this campaign, which is over eclipse so far. He's gonna double what he did last season, even more. Last season he's got 10 goals, now he got 17. And we're seeing an absolute player here, absolute unit of a player. I think he's just becoming this mainframe for Barcelona, and the rise to stardom that he has had this season, I just have no problem in admitting that whenever we're on goal, I just want Rafinha to be at the end of it because I know it's gonna go in. The passion, I don't know how, but passion goes into the strike of the ball from Rafinha. Like, I guarantee you, that ball is struck with so much love for the club, ball is guaranteed to go to the back of the net. And that's what I get from Rafinha. I get those vibes. I get the captain. I get someone who works so far for every single instance of the team. I see someone who's just such an energy for Barcelona, such an incredible piece for this team, this collective that everybody loves. And for me, Rafinha is really just rising to stardom in a way I haven't seen in a player in such a long time. He really is that sort of the best player in form so far from Europe, I think. He really is. You can take a look at here. Look at how we compare to other ones. 17 goals from Rafinha, 10 assists. Even our sub players like Ferran Torres has enjoyed good numbers so far this season. 5 goals, 2 assists, and 5 of those goals, and 4 of those goals has come in the last 4 games. Lamine Yamal has stopped a little bit, but I mean, we cannot ask him more of him. He's 17 years of age. Dani Olmo is still very good, but I'm actually more enjoying what he does off the ball, the kind of prior to the passes, you could say, kind of like a pre-assist. Overall, I'm very happy with what we're producing with our attacking line. In a game like this, I think that we also saw a very good Lamine Yamal, someone who has already mastered the trivela. We can say that with absolute certainty. I think that Lamine Yamal is just now at another level when it comes to that. The passes with the outside the boot, we're looking at a player who is just surpassing everything so far he has at the moment. And he has earned the man of the match from UEFA actually for this game. So yeah, absolutely. We have a 17 years of age player that goes into the Signal Iduna Park and gets, the man of the match award. It's becoming just basically everyday an everyday's work for Lamine Yamal, you know, and that pass that he went on to for Ferran for that final goal, for the third goal, it's absolutely outrageous. And actually now, I think the second goal from Barcelona, we shouldn't really analyze it that much. I think it was a good build-up play and the good shot from Fermin that at the end of the day just rebounded to Ferran Torres. That goal would have been scored by Lewandowski or Ferran either way. Both of them have that instinct, and I really do like that Hansi Flick now is recognizing that Ferran Torres has to be that striker. He can no longer play as a winger because I think that instinctively he's only second to Lewandowski. I think that it goes Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, and Ansu Fati actually, just because of the consistency. I think that naturally, as a goal-scoring instinct, Ansu Fati might be better than Ferran Torres, but right now we just know that we can count on Torres a little bit more than Ansu, which is incredible to say the least. But yeah, I think that that goal is one that both would have scored. Let me see if I can find it for you guys right now, the goals, and we can analyze them a little bit on video. Maybe that would have been an interesting thing to take a look at. This is the third goal, which I'm just gonna wait on. I just found the third. I have not found the second. Let's just take a look at the third one. So this is the pass from Lamine Yamal onto Ferran Torres, and then Ferran Torres, what I like from Ferran Torres, and I'm gonna talk about the pass from Lamine Yamal. What I like from Ferran Torres here at this moment is that he stays stationary. You know, he waits, he thinks a little bit about it, and I think that Ferran Torres before, and I said it, I criticized him against Mallorca and Real Betis for this. I think he was a little bit too, you know, steadfast. He was a little bit too anxious. He wanted to just make things happen, and sometimes that's not the best thing you need. You need to have a calm mind. And in this game, in this chance, Ferran Torres really waited it out. And, you know, he looked at the goalkeeper. He had that extra second to get the touch, and this is what happens. Bang. He scores it. Powerful shot into the left side of the netting. Good start from Ferran Torres, but an even better pass from Lamine Yamal. Let's take a look at the pass again. We have Lamine Yamal there. The ball into Ferran Torres. That quick vision to do that in seconds, that's insane. I need that in my team. Meanwhile, I just want to dedicate this poem to Ferran Torres, written by Gol de Paulinho on X. This is for Ferran Torres. Who is Ferran Torres? In my geography, he's my world. In history, he's my king. In mathematics, he's my solution. In biology, he's my medicine. In mythology, he's my god. In astronomy, he's my universe. For the blind, he is the light. For the hungry, he's the bread. And for me, he is everything. Ferran Torres, I love Ferran Torres. I literally do. It's in the description of this channel. I'm a fan of the shirt. Ferran Torres. I still cannot believe I don't have a shirt from Ferran Torres. Like, I've gathered shirts throughout this season. I got a Lenglet shirt. I got an Arthur shirt. I got a Coutinho shirt, and I do not have a Ferran Torres shirt. But I mean, I cannot have this shirt. It has Lamine Yamal on the back. The away kit this season has Koundé on the back, and the green third kit, I'm probably gonna get Rafinha on the back for Christmas. I just want to wait for a golden kit from Barcelona, and I'm gonna get Ferran on the back. That's one of them. And that precisely, guys, is what I do every day before I go to sleep. You know, I have some me time, and I enjoy myself a bit of Ferran. Well, can we talk about it now? I think this was a very complete game. I know what we can discuss. Let's take a look at the table of the Champions League, because this table is getting now very interesting, guys. It's getting very interesting. Look at this. Liverpool, Barcelona, and Arsenal are the top three. Barcelona are second with 5 wins, 1 loss. That was the first match against Monaco. That seems like a few matches behind us. We have the most goals in the competition with 21, 7 conceded, which is really good. But look at Liverpool, only 1 goal conceded in the entirety of the Champions League. That's insane, guys. That's mental. And the reason why I'm really liking this format, some people may disagree, but I'm liking it because you're seeing the teams that generally are playing better around Europe. I would say the average, they are actually higher up the table. Like, consistently, you will find some scuff games here and there. Like, generally, Liverpool, Barcelona, and Arsenal for me are the top 3 teams in the world right now. Arsenal are not in the first place of the Premier League. Yeah, they're not. But I mean, consistently, they are still a very good team. Liverpool, I think, are the best team in the world. Barcelona are second to that. I think we just need a little bit more consistency overall in La Liga. But you can generally see that those teams are high up there. You know, Liverpool, Barcelona, I really do like that. I feel that we are the most consistent. Arsenal, then second. Leverkusen, I have not really followed them that much in the Bundesliga, but I don't know what assessment could you make from that, guys. Aston Villa, Inter, I know they're doing good. And for teams like Lille and Brest, 2 Ligue 1 teams to be in the top 8, That's insane. Dortmund, with this loss, actually now they fall out of the top 8, which is a little bit surprising, but it just tells you how close is it at the top. It's 3 points between and 19. That's quite a margin. Real Madrid got higher up after the win they had against Atalanta, and Manchester City now, with the defeat they had just now against Juventus with goal from Vlahovic and Weston McKennie, they sit in the 22nd. And you know who comes next? Well, it's PSG. That game, guys, that game between PSG and Manchester City is going to be absolute bonkers. I recommend you to watch that next fixture, because we're talking about a PSG and Manchester City that are going to be fighting out basically a head-to-head. Whoever wins that, they will earn a spot in the top 8. That's going to be very interesting. That's how I would say it. And even though PSG is the only team there in the bottom 9 who are gonna get maybe relegated, you could say, I would expect them to go through, but you just never know. And for teams that are a little bit, smaller, like Celtic, like Feyenoord, you could go to an extent Brest and Lille. I think this format is really showing that consistency can get you a long way. So it's not only about star power, it's about actually your collective as a team. So I'm very happy about it. And wow, I just saw this. Look at this. According to SofaScore at the bottom, the average SofaScore rating, the best player in the Champions League so far is Rafinha. Damn. Damn, dude. Do you think, guys, that it's possible for Rafinha to win the Ballon d'Or this year? Look at it. Goals, he has 6 goals in the competition, only 1 behind Lewandowski, his teammate. Let's see expected goals. Lewandowski is high up there with other strikers like Haaland. Yeah, makes perfect sense. What about assists? Rafinha is running a little bit low on assists. He has 2 assists. Even Koundé has more after that hat-trick of assists against Red Star. But if we combine goals and assists, Rafinha sits up there with Sergio Guirassy. And Rafinha overall, I think his play has been absolutely incredible. Can Rafinha actually win the Ballon d'Or, guys? That's my question. I think it's possible. Call me crazy, but I do. And maybe with that, I don't know what else can we take a look. Oh, there certainly is a few more things that I want to take a look, actually, now that I think about it. There's one very interesting change of affairs that happened with Barcelona, and I want you to take a look at the heat map here. I'm going to open up the heat map for Frenkie de Jong, who came into the second. So Frenkie de Jong in the second half, here you cannot clearly see that much, but if I actually, let me make it more obvious too. I'm going to open up the heat map for Pedri and Casado. You see the heat map from Pedri and Casado, and you could see that Casado and Pedri played more often behind the halfway line. They were clearly the double pivots. Once Frenkie de Jong came in, I was surprised. It was the first time that we've seen Casado, Frenkie, and Pedri. It's not the first time, but it was Frenkie, the one out of the 3 that was higher up the field. He was the one, interlinking the play in the position that was left vacant by Dani Olmo. And I think that was very interesting. And I do not know if it's a sign of Flick running out of ideas precisely on what to do with him, or mainly is it just an indication that that's where he's going to play for Flick. I don't know. I don't know what, I'm going to make out of it. I want to definitely hear it right now, guys. Do you think that Frenkie de Jong has a place in Flick's system? I think he really doesn't at the moment, and that may be why he played that further forward position in today's game, because I think he's really struggling for a position at the moment in this new team. And the other thing that we just have to mention is the injury to Rafinha. After the game, he has commented that it's just a knock. It's just a knock. He was really tired. He just run a lot. I mean, how many games has Rafinha been playing? Rafinha, please continue, because he's right now currently my favorite player of football to watch. He's so enjoyable. Everything he touches turns to gold. I think he's in the best form of his life, and in the best form I've seen a player in a while, actually, for Barcelona. So keep it up, because we do definitely need Rafinha for the latter stages of the season. We've played so many games now, and the next 2 Champions League games are going to be next year, which is the very first time for the competition. So yeah, Barcelona get the win against Borussia Dortmund 3-2. Incredible scenes in the Ucl in Luna Park. I'm going to definitely sleep very well and tight and comfy this game week. And yeah, see you in the next one. Take care.